Assalamu alaikum, my dear friends, my viewers. Hope you are doing great. I'm sure and I hope that yesterday you might have watched my click that we superficially discussed on the English literature. No doubt, it's a versatile and of a gigantic topic and theme subject to discuss. Literature is indeed a very versatile subject if you discuss about it. Well, my dear viewers, and today I have come up with an idea one more time to share with you my knowledge. I'm trying my best. I'm trying my level best to share with you to the best of my understanding and ability. But I feel that I might work for you, or my suggestions may work for you. My suggestions hope would definitely work for you. If you give an ear to it, if you understand, if you try to figure out, try to work with me, hope you will make something new and amazing. For example, now I give you a tip. I give you a way that how to study. Material is available in the market. You can buy books for book, and for the books or for book, it is said the book is the best friend same today and forever. It works for you. It is always helpful. Well, vice versa, etc. Let's find out how to do smart study. And from literature, if you study literature, that you'll be in confusion then what to study. Just relax, sit, open the book, choose one character, choose one chapter, for example. Okay, now we start from Middle English, and we'll come to the Modern English, no problem. Romantic Age in 20th century, step by step. Pick up the book, choose a character, choose a chapter, and pick up one personality. Okay, I take one personality for you. I take one personality, Geoffrey Chaucer. Now I have to study about his life sketch, about his services, about his titles, about his works, about his living in the age. It's a Middle English period. First of all, I would read Geoffrey Chaucer, the son of John Chaucer. Geoffrey Chaucer was born in 1340. He is known as the father of English literature. He is known as the father of English poetry. He is the father of English poetry, and he is known as a national poet of England. Geoffrey Chaucer, apart from this, he was a diplomat. He was a civil servant. Now, let's come forward. Geoffrey Chaucer got married in 1363. His life starts from 1357, 1359, what he did. In 1372, where he went, whether he went to Florence, Italy, why he went on trip. In 1374 to 78, why he became the part of the diplomat and the delegation, why he went again, where he became the head of the port of England. His works are divided in how many parts? For example, if I tell you, his works are divided into 3 parts: French, Italian, and English. Superficially, I tell you, in French he wrote the Book of Duchess. Book of Duchess is an elegy. Is written on the death of somebody's wife's death, and he dedicated that. Secondly, for example, in Italian we read about the Legend of Good Women, where he tries to explain the faithfulness and loyalty and disloyalty of women, the behavior, the character, the temperament, the living style, the women, how women behave with the men. That's a long trials and Cressidia. For example, the fowls of Parliament his works, and the masterpiece which he has written is that the Canterbury Tales. I think I have shared with you that he was impressed by three persons, like a Boccaccio, like a Petrarch, and like a Dante. And from the Boccaccio's his plays, his tale is that the Canterbury Tales in the night, which starts in the beginning. What is the Canterbury Tales, and based on why he wrote, how he wrote. For example, there are 24 tales mentioned out of 29, including 2 persons like Geoffrey Chaucer and the host of the Odyssey. Host of the Odyssey, who was host of Odyssey for Harry Bailey, who was the host, and what he commented that, and what was his recommendation, and what was his commitment, and the people who were going to the Tabard, or to say the shrine of Tabard, or the Thomas Becket, and the shrine of Thomas Becket, they would go to visit and would come back. Who was Thomas Becket? You have to read again. You will have to go back to the Anglo-Saxon period, right? In French Revolution, in French period, in 1170. Why Thomas Becket was killed? Who killed him? What was the situation based upon? What was happening in the church, in the Roman Catholic Church or church, Protestant churches? So you will again go back. But no, Thomas Becket. Thomas Becket was thought to be the holy man, and they would go the shrine of Thomas Becket, whatever. So night. And Geoffrey Chaucer, how many children he had? He was blessed with 4 children. For example, in the Canterbury Tales, he picks up one character is nun, and one of his daughters is nun. Canterbury Tales, in Canterbury Tales, and Geoffrey Chaucer had one daughter that she was nun also. Well, in this way, now you would think about that he wrote in 1386 to 1396, but he died it was the Canterbury Tales were not completed, but 22 are published out of 24. Now, when this work was published, you have to read it again. There are 2 persons who have played a very significant role in printing press. Gutenberg, who is the father of English, who was the father of printing press, who was the father of printing. Gutenberg, in 1450 to 55, the Bible has been translated in different parts of the world. And secondly, the second man comes, who was born is William Caxton. He was born in 1422, but he is known as the father of English. He is the father of printing press. He introduced the printing press in England in 1476. And the Canterbury Tales, I think, has been published round about 1 century later after his death. Geoffrey Chaucer died in 14, and his work was Canterbury Tales was published in 1486 to 85. Who published it? The William Caxton. Now think about his work, but great contribution in the Renaissance age, and he's known as the morning star of Renaissance, Geoffrey Chaucer. Now you have to study. You should read the Canterbury Tales as well. That how many characters are there? Wardener is there, knight is there, clerk is there, monk is there, wife of Macbeth, wife of Bath is there. The 5 characters, and 3 about military, 3 about women. You have to study who are the characters and what are their sayings, what are the quotations, how it begins and where it begins. So you have what I want to say. Cramming is helpful. It works, but not all the time. You should know about it a little bit. You should read about it. Okay. Now coming to the another point. For example, this was the Renaissance age. Now there are so many great writers, playwriters. For example, I give you a few names, and we will inshallah discuss about that. For example, there comes in Puritan age, there are cavalier poets and physical poets, metaphysical poets after them. For example, the age of Dryden, the father of English criticism, Dryden. After him, there she gets birth, Jane Austen in this way. But there comes the Alexander Pope. Alexander Pope is a great writer. May I tell you one thing about Alexander Pope? But only one thing. Alexander Pope had 3 diseases. He had a lump behind him. He was only the son of his family, or he was the only child to his family. He was Roman Catholic. He was not allowed to study in the university. But in early age, when he was 12 years of his age, he had a lump behind his back, and he, because of fear, because of shame, because of students would make a fun of him, he stopped going to the schools and whatever. But he was very intelligent and confident. He had asthma. He was patient of asthma. He would not study that much, and he would always feel a very severe pain in his brain. But yet, his contribution is awesome. He wrote essay on man, essay on criticism, or he wrote The Rape of the Lock. The Rape of the Lock is his masterpiece, which he wrote, and he brings the Belinda, Homer, and many other characters of awesome. It is totally the sketch, and he shows mirror to the people of England and what the England is doing about. And secondly, he translated the great. I think I have shared with you that Homer's was the old English period, and in I think the BC's, but he translated his work. Homer was basically blind, and I tell you that John Milton became blind while reading and studying, and afterwards John Milton. Well, I'm coming to John Milton later on. Homer, he translated Homer's Iliad, Aeneid, and Odyssey. He translated, and he became rich. Alexander Pope was born in 1668 and died in 1744, and he translated it in 1723 to 27 and 38, but he became rich. And later on, he worked on Duncan, and he dedicated his work to his friend. Well, John Carlyle also suggested him to write about him. It was Alexander Pope. Now, he was a great writer, epic poem to say. John Milton, who was master in languages. French, Italian, Hebrew, English, German, and many other languages. He has learned almost 7 languages. He was, apart from the languages, he was a religious man. He was a great religious man. He was a musician. He was an artist. Mind-boggling. He was amazing how they worked. I'm sure. I'm shocked, but their contribution is appreciated. For example, you go ahead further in Augustan age, 70 to 75, 70, 40, 50. In Augustan age, you should read about, the writers up there like Jonathan Swift, like Dryden already mentioned. And later on, you come to the few novel writers like Henry Fielding, the father of English novels, for whom the Sir Walter Scott, he titled him that he's the father of English novels. You should read about Thomas Hardy. Who was Thomas Hardy? You should read about Henry Howard. Who was Henry Howard? Who was Thomas Wade? You should know about Jane Austen. You should know about George Eliot. George Bernard Shaw, the father of drama, English drama, the best. He was given the two titles. He has been given the 2 awards. Number 1 in 19. Now let's look 19 in 20th century. He's a writer and a dramatist of the 20th century, and he even took the character from Virgil, Virgil from the Old English, from the very Old English. Virgil, he's taken for the one drama is supernatural, for example. And George Bernard Shaw was given the Nobel Prize in 1925 and the Oscar Award in 1938. And he was born in 1856 and died in 1965. And Hemingway was also giving the Nobel Prize. And 2 people I feel very sorry about them, that they committed suicide. Virginia Woolf, she committed suicide, who was a great writer, novel writer. And To the Lighthouse, our novel is a very famous novel. And Hemingway's he's a famous person, and he has given the title in I think 1954. Well, I told you Thomas Hardy, and you should read about her, read about him, and George Eliot, Mary Ann Avon, you should read about her, and secondly, there are few more writers. I think you should read about, for example, Charles Dickens. Who was Charles Dickens? Charles Dickens was a great writer, great novelist. He was a novelist. How he was born. He worked in goldsmith and blacksmith, and he became the writer. And he has written Tale of Two Cities, Pickwick Papers, 4 or 5 novels which are very famous. And he died in 1870. And he was a writer. He was born in 1812. And what happened in First World War and Second World War? 2 people have died in war. Robert Brooke died in the First World War in 1914, and the first person, the Philip Sidney, who died in 1584, 86 I think. He died in 1586. Sir Philip Sidney, who wrote Arcadia and who wrote the apology for poesy and poetry. So this is his work. He has shared his work, and Shepherd calendar was dedicated to him by Edmund Spenser. Again, now coming to the 20th century and 18th century, there are many great writers of their times. But I think today it's a little demo, and tomorrow inshallah I would share with you some more things, more videos, every day I will be sharing with you how to study this. Sit and start reading. Don't waste your time. Now, the time has arrived to tell the people and ask yourself, sit and ask yourself that I have to do something. Thank you. I hope so. Have a good weather day today. It's a wonderful day today in Chekabad. I wish you all the best, my aspirant students, my friends, my colleagues, the people wherever you are, whatever you do. Take care of yourself. Till then, take care. Have a good day. See ya.